and it's nice to see you. And it's funny because I was saying, it's the weirdest thing because everybody that I see now, it's like I haven't seen you for 3 years in person.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Right?
Yeah. And having, being in town for Legends, I got to see a whole bunch of people that I haven't seen before. And you and I have had a couple of conversations, and I wanted the opportunity to sit down because we are talking. So the last time you and I sat down and had a real face-to-face was at the Pasadena Showcase House for the Arts.
Yes.
And you crafted the most amazing bathroom to this day that I have ever seen.
Thank you. That's so nice.
Thank you. You do things in the bathroom. This is not, and by the way, not to pigeonhole you as a bathroom designer, but you did things in that space that I feel were ahead of their time. And because of that, I wanted the opportunity to sit down because over the past 3 years, the idea of a spa-like bathroom has been on the top of the list. And what does it feel like knowing how important that space has become and in the manner in which you design?
Well, it's in the forefront of lifestyle changes
Yeah.
that was caused by the 3 years of lull in everyone's lives. All of a sudden we have time to spend in taking care of ourselves in our homes, especially actual spas were really close. So everyone really started thinking about how to spend their time at home, how to relax, how to just kind of be in the moment. And so people started looking at their bathrooms and how to make that a spa.
So I would say there's a couple of areas that have changed dramatically, and I want your thoughts on them. The first is the idea behind steam and saunas. The second is the thoughtful development of ideas like, I don't know, warming drawers.
Yes.
Right?
Beauty refrigerators.
Yes. I would see. I'm telling you. You tell me.
Well, first, I wanted to address what you mentioned about the Pasadena Showcase House during that time. We were presented a challenge, and it's a very challenging space, and it's not big. So to make it luxurious, you really need to add all these elements that makes a primary bathroom luxurious. And luxury really means experience more than the aesthetics. The aesthetics should really be secondary. So that's what we did. We found solutions to a problem. And there's been a lot of innovations lately and pushed more towards the forefront because now we got forced to stay home. And one of them is, like all this frivolous things before and now is kind of essential. You mentioned warming drawers, towel warmers. In the past, that's mostly a European thing. Especially here in California, we don't really get cold weathers. So not a lot of people request that. And now I'm getting more requests for that, because it's just nice to be enveloped by warmth after you get out of the shower. And during the pandemic, I also became my own client. I built my own home. So I started really practicing what I preach and kind of experimenting what works and what doesn't work. So now I could be more of an advocate for my client to not just, convince them on something that's not necessary or that is beyond their means or, just pretty but not functional. So that really helps my design process a lot. Having said that, I do have a towel warmer. I do have a steam shower. I wish I incorporated chromotherapy because it's just so cool to have a party in your own bathroom. Aside from, the good effects that it gives you with all the chromotherapy, chakra, whatever. I was doing a Google search and it's like, oh, it's hocus pocus. No, I don't think so. I think colors improve your mood. There's a certain psychological effect, maybe more than what the chakras that they talk about. I think it's more a belief system than an actual reality. So, but definitely it helps with moods. I do also have aromatherapy, and sometimes I just sit there and enjoy that. And it's very healing to just sit and do nothing, and really practice the art of doing nothing, which in the past, like go. So now I've actually made it my mission to slow down a bit, even once we're back to
isn't
normalcy.
Isn't that the point though? Is slowing down a little bit? And when you talk about the shower, here's why I'm so intrigued by it. Because I feel like everything that was just sort of a side note / afterthought has become so ultimately important. And I'll give you an example. This idea of a box where one would just go in purely utilitarian, take a shower, you hop in, you take a shower, you get out. Now you have a secondary space, transom, glass, bench. You have a steam shower, which also has a touch screen for entertainment.
Yes.
You also have a speaker system for music. In your case, you have the negative edges with no drain.
Yes.
That makes it a more conducive environment. Chromotherapy, aromatherapy. Theoretically, there's no way my 17-year-old daughter would ever leave that environment that we just described.
Yes.
Right? And I think that that's kind of the idea for many people, where you take the idea in design to take something that is previously viewed as simply a functional space, a utilitarian space, a one-purpose space, not a slash space like a dining room / classroom / restaurant / but it was a shower. You get in, you get out.
Yeah.
But now, and it's not about running the water forever. It's you get into a space and you've created something spa-like. And then, some of the other things that we've discussed in the past, you have a spa shower, which is very spa-like. You have radiant heat in the floor. You take the towel warmer off the wall, which I never found aesthetically pleasing.
Yeah.
And you turn it into a towel warming drawer, and like you said, a beauty fridge. I haven't heard it described that way before, but now it makes perfect sense.
Yes.
For someone like you, does that just completely change the whole idea of what the purpose was for that space originally?
Yes. It's now a meditative room rather than just like run, shower, go, I pay more attention to it now, secondary to the kitchen, or sometimes before the kitchen even. I really enjoy that space, and I want my clients to have that same experience that I'm experiencing, because it's very cleansing, although you really need a timer, because sometimes like, oh, I've been here an hour.
And that's the point.
Yes.
That's exactly the point. And it's interesting too, because we're focusing on this one room. And I feel like, for me, having had these conversations for as long as we have, the ideas and the conversations are different now. Yes. Than they were 4 or 5 years ago. Yes, we still talk about luxurious design. We still talk about remarkable architecture. We still talk about those ideas. Good ideas last forever. Yes. Right? But the bathroom was almost, if the home had a throwaway space, yeah. Even the laundry room seemed to take a higher priority.
Oh, yes.
Right?
Yes, yeah. Especially with, like I personally was not a dog person before. Now I'm like this crazy dog mom, you know, and I say this because now laundry rooms are transformed into like the dog spa. So yeah, it's taken a whole new life on its own. All this kind of dream items, you know, they're no longer just a dream. They're now a lot of people's reality. And I do have, you know, you mentioned water use, because obviously when you say shower, you're thinking, you know, rain shower, like this big shower heads, you're thinking, well, you know, now you're not being conscious about your water use. So I have something to address that. And then also I want to say with Thermosol, we've taken the time as a firm to actually visit the factory and learn the internal process of, you know, how they design things and how they engineer their technology. So that was very helpful. And, you know, like meeting the people that I spoke with regarding looking at the HydroVibe as not just a functional element, but as a design element. So that was awesome, to have taken that time to meet all the people behind such an amazing technology. So now I'm like a firm advocate, you know, and I told them I'm not just a brand ambassador, you know, I'm an advocate for healthy living, for slowing down and not just smelling the roses, but smelling all these wonderful oils that they provide you with your aromatherapy. And then, you know, circling back on water use, there's now new technologies that makes it simpler to recycle gray water. So, you know, I'm not sure if I should mention the company, but if you are interested, look at the website. It's Hydroloop, and you know, it's like the size of a fridge, and it's better. You know, it's hard to put it on an existing home because, you know, unless your plumbing's ready for it. But basically, it recycles very quickly and less expensively than before. All the water from the shower, from the sinks, and you can use it to flush your toilet and irrigate your garden. And, you know, it has a long life cycle, and it's small enough to put in your home, because when I was building my house, I looked into the different technologies, and it was just prohibitively expensive, and it takes a lot of room. So, you know, like we were doing our research, because being an advocate for like this long showers, you know, I want to not feel bad about that decision, you know. So right. Using water twice is always relieves that guilt of long showers and steams and you know, you're still being conscious of not just your health but the health of the environment.
So in wrapping this up, if I asked you, and I'm not going to give you a list, I'm not going to say like, give me the top 5 things, give me the top 10 things. You tell me how many, but what are the top elements to a Jhoiey Ramirez Sycamore Collective bathroom?
Steam, shower, aromatherapy, heated floors, and the new top of my list is the beauty fridge. You know, like all the stones that you can put in there, and a warming drawer.
Question for you, along those lines, because you mentioned a beauty fridge, which, by the way, you are the first person that I've heard mention that, and I will forever credit you as the one who gave the name to the beauty fridge. Even if it exists, I'm still crediting you for it.
Thank you.
Is there an equivalent in a refrigerated drawer as opposed to a wine fridge?
Yes. In fact, in my home, it's just a regular small fridge that I use, although they do sell specific beauty fridges. But it's the same fridge as you use for like clinics, for example, that they have to refrigerate medication. So you can be very experimental about it, like even the wine fridge could be used for that. Because of course, once you label something, the price point becomes different. So any fridge will do, and that you could integrate in your cabinetry. Oh wait, I forgot one more thing. Bidets, smart toilets.
Okay.
Oof, let me tell you.
Isn't it interesting that the bidet hasn't been as popular here in the States as it has overseas, Europe, Asia?
Yeah.
I don't know why that is.
I'm not sure either, since I've lived here now in the US for 25 years.
Yeah.
And I've always looked for it.
Yeah.
And now sometimes there are clients that are resistant. It's like, oh, this is too much.
I think in the past though, because they were two separate pieces.
Yes.
And maybe because now it's one, it's going to be more common. Maybe.
I'm trying to make it more common.
I love that. And the other thing that I will say in just sort of wrapping this up and putting a bow on it is you really are one of the most creative designers I know, in the work that you do, recognizing the things that you do with the steam showers, how you make the transom, how the glass, how it all goes together, that you disappear the drains, that if there's a view to be seen from one of your bathrooms, you are going to find it and make sure that it can be seen from every angle possible. And I think the beauty fridge, hadn't heard that before, but I love the way you design and I love the way you think.
Thank you, I'm blushing.
Thank you for doing this.